Hey, fatty, I'm back. So I might have figured out a way to get around YouTube. As you guys know, I've had Matt here for 60 days-ish. He's lost way over 100 pounds. And as of yesterday, we started a 12-day hibernation mode stretch. So hibernation mode is exactly what you think it is. Because I want to get around using, we can't use DF. Okay, you guys know what DF is? And that is the fastest way to lose weight when you're morbidly obese, all right? Hibernation mode, grizzly bears. We're talking grizzly bears going to hibernation. They're not eating anything. They're not drinking anything. Every time you take a breath, it's like you're a water balloon and you're running low on water. You're leaking. Okay, when you're in hibernation mode, you're leaking. So that's how I'm going to get around it, because after coaching him for the last 2 months, I realized with the morbid obese people, that's the best way to push weight off. Basically, you're going to do big chunks of hibernation mode. And then when you do eat food, you're eating zero fat. Okay, zero fat. We're talking potatoes, boiled potatoes. Okay, low calories. We're talking fruit. We're talking snake juice salts. Okay, you're just reloading on electrolytes essentially. Because the whole thing is, especially morbid obese people, until you start getting to a lower body weight, you don't need any fat in that diet. None. Zero. You don't need any protein in that diet. Zero. The only thing you're going to want is some carbohydrate to shuttle electrolytes, and that's it. All right, so that's how we're going to get around this. So now subscribe to Matthew's YouTube channel, because my channel still isn't monetized. I'm going to try to work on it a little bit. Maybe I can get it monetized again. I'll be probably throwing up these lives on my channel, and I'm just going to be vomiting hibernation mode. That's it. Okay? That's the new thing, which isn't new at all. It's one of the old school protocols that I love talking about. In fact, it's the one that was really getting hardcore back in 2019 when they zapped my channel the first time, when they basically stopped throwing my videos out. And that's when I was getting the best results. Okay, now I'm even a smarter weight loss coach. Now I do not combine low carb dieting with the fasting. All right, I do not combine the low carb dieting with the fasting, especially not with hibernation mode style fasting. Okay, it's trash. You want the fruits, you want the wet, you want the potatoes, you want the wet food so you don't get constipated, and the calories end up being way lower when you come off the fast. Obviously, there's still, snake juice fasting, which isn't going to be as aggressive as the hibernation. Hibernation mode is a dead drop on the scale. Okay, the scale will just drop. Okay, you weigh in the morning, you're going to get a weigh-in. You weigh that night, you're going to be lighter. The next morning, you're going to be lighter. The next night, you're going to be lighter. And you're just going to get lighter and lighter and lighter. We're talking huge amounts of weight loss. All right, we're talking, if you're as big as Matt, I'm going to assume we're going to see a weight log. Okay, make sure you follow Matthew Westwood on Instagram to see the weight log, because we couldn't even put the weight log up on his channel. And make sure you're hitting our lives on Matthew's channel. We're going to be doing them almost every morning, sometime Mountain Standard Time. And then, people are supporting us like crazy right now, getting crazy weight loss results. We're taking donations there. People are donating. He's got a members club. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pumping up videos on my channel, try to get it remonetized. Then I'll be back talking on my channel as well. So then we'll be double teaming YouTube. And then also, I'll still probably be putting up videos, my regular videos on Rumble, and then Matt's going to be downloading all his old backlog on Rumble because they took all the videos down off his YouTube channel that we already had up. But that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. With these super heavy people, we're going to be busting them in hybrid. We're going to be putting them in hibernation mode, baby. Literally no exercise, no nothing. Okay, no nothing. All right? Like, when grizzly bears hibernate, they're not trying to exercise. They're not trying to get in their 10,000 steps. Okay, they're not doing resistance training. They're not doing anything. Okay, all you need to do is sit there and let the weight fall off you. This is exactly what should be happening if somebody was like 1,000 pounds that has some enabler that's just feeding them and even giving them fluid. They should be pulling, first thing they would do, they'd cut the real high-fat, dirty food out. They'd start giving them fruit because they'd be forced to eat the fruit because the enabler wouldn't be an enabler anymore. They'd give them the fruit, give them especially the fruit's going to clean the colon out very well. And once they start passing food like fast, with that fast transit time on the wet fruit, no dried fruit, okay, we're trying to keep the calorie density very low. Okay, like I say, the one meal a day on the boiled potatoes, like all those routines are going to be losing weight like crazy still, body fat like crazy. But when you're morbidly obese, okay, you can go straight into grizzly bear mode, baby. Okay, straight into grizzly bear mode. Okay, that fat 1,000-pound pig that's sitting there, the person could take the food away and the water away. And you know what happens? Your body just burns fat basically 1,000,000 times faster to make up the water difference. And that's why you do not want to do any activity or sweat a bunch, because you don't want to put yourself in a huge water deficit, because that's when you'll feel some thirst. As long as you're sitting there doing nothing, you won't even get thirsty. You're super fat. Okay, I've done 7 days in hibernation mode before. Okay, I've done 10 days on snake juice. Okay, snake juice and water, and then I came off the 10 days and did 5 days in hibernation mode before. And that was at a very low body weight. Okay, I know what it feels like to even start to gain some weight and get chunky before going into a fast. There's like no hunger. There's no thirst either, if you're smart. Okay, you just sit there and do nothing. Okay, that's where we're at. Okay, that's where we're at. That's my demographic, baby. Okay, my demographic is fat people. And fat people don't need to do, they can just straight up hibernate like grizzly bears. Okay, taking it easy. And they'll drop, the amount of weight you'll drop when you're in hibernation mode is going to be like over a 10-day span. You're talking like 10% of your body weight or better. Okay, when you're the size of Matt, we're talking, I'm going to guess that we're going to lose like probably 40 to 60 pounds. And literally, we'll see if he can bust it out. So we're planning for 12 days in hibernation mode. Okay, this is old school Russian fasting. Okay, old school Russian fasting, baby. Okay, Siberian fasting. Okay, Filanov style fasting. Stuff that people think here is so bad, but then you go somewhere else and they're reversing like every health issue under the sun. Okay, people that are doing these 12 days in hibernation mode, and they're not even fat, and they're doing it. So when you start applying it to weight loss, it's like the best weight loss protocol known to man. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Is there anything that's going to make you drop weight faster than that? No. It's impossible. And then when you come off it with wet fruit and snake juice salts. That's what we're doing here at Snake Diet Fat Camp. Okay, what do we got? We got some questions. This is all I'm going to be talking about, okay? Like, this was always my niche. Okay, and then it got watered down. You got to jump around and shit. All right, what do we got here? I'll answer some questions. You guys make sure you chime into our next live. We're still going to do another live later here on Matt's channel. Matthew Westwood, subscribe. You'll see there's no videos on there. So what we're doing on Matt's channel, I don't have to hold back what we're saying there. We're going to be talking about all this same stuff. All right, and then we can be more, if people have questions too, like, I can just be more straight up, because we're deleting the video immediately after we put it up. All right, what do we got here? Let's see. And like, you guys don't be chicken shits. Okay, you know how easy it is when you're super fat to hibernate for like a week? Okay, hibernate like a grizzly bear for a week. Give me a break. You guys are scared shitless. So the world record that was accidental. I'll be talking about this over and over. There was a kid in 1979, I believe he was 18 years old, 18 or 19. They accidentally locked, after he was in a car accident they locked him in the jail and basically threw away the key for 18 days. He lost like mid-50s, 50-some pounds in 18 days. And this kid wasn't even obese. And he didn't kick the bucket. So what's that say about you fat pigs? All right? Okay, you guys, that's the beauty of it. When you're taking in nothing, you can literally just, every time you take a breath, every time you go to the bathroom, it's just more and more weight. Okay, weight's weight. Weight is weight. That's all you want when you're super heavy. You just want the weight to go down. You want that weight to go down to Chinatown. Okay, what do we got here? And like I say, no activity, no nothing. Say no nothing. No nothing. All right? Like you just do the bare minimum. And you're going to be losing. You're going to just be sitting back. You'll be watching these people doing all this exercise when they're like way overweight and have no business even doing half the exercises they're doing because they're just going to get hurt. You're sitting there like that meme off of, what's that meme on Goodfellas? That meme on Goodfellas when Henry, they're sitting back, they're just sitting back looking at these jackasses like doing all this crap that's completely unnecessary. And all you got to do is hibernate for a while. And then when you come out of it so you don't screw yourself up, just like any smart fasting retreat, you break it on wet fruit. Okay, you don't break it on. That was probably the one thing that people screw up so bad because you get in such a deep state of ketosis when you're hibernating like that, when you're in hibernation mode, which I used to talk about a lot. This is almost what led me to promoting a low-carb diet way too much. Okay, a low-carb diet made me promote it way too much because it's like, oh, how do I stay in ketosis after I come off a fast? Which is a stupid attitude. Okay, you don't stay in ketosis when you come off the fast. You start eating the carbohydrates again is what you do. And then you'd never have bowel movement issues and you wouldn't screw your thyroid function up like half of these women. Okay, you get back on the sugar, baby. Hibernation mode, baby, and then a sugar diet, baby. And I'm talking good quality sugar sources. Boiled potatoes, fruit. Okay, not candy. Okay, not candy. Okay, not pop. All right? Not just dense sugar sources. Okay, the calories are still king. Okay, if you want to make any donations to me right now, since I'm completely demonetized, I'll give you guys my PayPal. Okay, my PayPal email is pumpkincontrols. Somebody wants to write it in here. Pumpkin, like pumpkin controls. It's an old instrumentation email that I've been using for 100 years. Pumpkin controls with an S at the end. Pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com. And I still do phone consults, take donations there. Okay, get a hold of me at Snake Diet Wizard on Instagram, Cole Robinson on Facebook. Local Al says hibernation mode is a clever workaround. I like it. Exactly. I had that idea probably even before my YouTube channel got completely taken down this last bit. But the thing is, what made me really get inspired to do it is because now we're doing it with Matt, and we're gonna lose like crazy amounts of weight, baby. Crazy amounts of weight. Okay, we're back to the old days. Hibernation mode, that's perfect. That's perfect. You know how close grizzly bears are to humans? It's great. Like, man, humans can throw weight on in times of feasting, and they can sit there and hibernate in times of famine. Humans don't need nothing. Same as grizzly bears. All right, what do we got here? Okay, I had a question about gallbladder. If you have any gallbladder problems, it's caused by your high-fat diet. That's why you got the stones in the first place. If you're trying to break up gallstones, we're talking if you get on the water, so if you get on the water, apple cider vinegar, snake juice salts, okay, the snake juice salts, if you go to my Facebook, okay, I'll put the links in this video. This video should be safe so far. I'll put the links at the top, snake juice salts. Okay, so snake juice, apple cider vinegar, water, go as long as you can. If that gets too hard, throw in apple juice. That the malic acid is going to break the gallstones up. Okay, why do people keep bringing this up? That somehow a low-fat diet causes gallstones. Like, give your head a shake. Okay, what do you think the stones are made of? It's a bunch of fat. Okay, like same with clogged arteries. Okay, what do you think causes that? Okay, the only real way to get rid of that stuff is going to be fasting and cutting fat out of the diet. Okay, that's the only real protocol to get rid of arterial plaque, all right? And obviously running a deficit on the food. And soon as you're trying to run a deficit on the food, meaning you're trying to lose weight, the first thing you're going to knock out is the fat. Because the fat's 9 calories a gram. It's not rocket science. And people are so brainwashed when it comes to the C word. The worst thing for the C word is going to be, especially if you're overweight, is going to be not losing weight, so you're still not pulling the food low enough to put yourself in a state of where you're catabolic, to start to get rid of the C word, okay, the tumors, and the protein. The other problem is the protein. Like, this is the thing. All the C word protocols, since the dawn of time, the C word protocols, you know what I'm talking about, the C word? They're all sugar. They're all sugar protocols. Grape fasting, juice fasting, okay, fruit. Okay, it's all the same. It's all sugar protocols. All right? And then you got like one of the other ones that I used to use. One of the other ones. So all those are sugar protocols. Hey, there's a fat guy there. So all the sugar protocols. And then later, the one that I used to talk about was still crazy low protein. It was a 4-to-1 keto diet. Okay, the protein's a problem, you idiots. People always be like, oh, sugar feeds the C word. Okay, you're not going to produce the C word and all the other stuff. The polyps you have on in your genital area, like your uterus, and all the problems that go along with that. All those are obesity-based problems. So the calories need to come down, and the protein needs to come down. You can't produce tissue without the protein. Okay, so on that sense, like I said, that 4-to-1 keto diet, which it is a protocol, but it's a hardcore protocol and it's dangerous, and it gives you electrolyte imbalances. That's why it's not even necessary. But when you run the protein through the floor in a 4-to-1 keto diet, the protein's non-existent. You're talking 10% or less on the protein. It's always low protein when you're dealing with the C word. Okay, because straight oil won't make you produce bigger tumors, and neither will straight sugar. All right, like that. It's common sense. That's the one macro everyone is all gung-ho about, and that might be one of the worst ones for producing tissue on your body and plaque and stuff that you don't want there. You bring the protein down. Okay, now obviously when the calories come down, that's what you want, to be more catabolic, and then automatically, because of the lower calorie count, if a percent of that's protein or whatever, it's still going to be low. Everything's just low when the calories are rock bottom. Everything just becomes low. Okay, so the overarching theme, the calories got to come down when you're trying to get rid of this crap. And then the sleep's got to be ideal. Like, the sleep's got to be on point. Bad sleep itself cause the C word. Okay, and then things like hibernation mode takes care of the C word real quick. That was the whole thing why Filanov, a lot of people were going to those Russian fasting camps to get rid of the C word, doing 12-day hibernation mode for 12 days, 11 days. Okay, you can't even find these videos. If you dig deep on YouTube, you'll still find some people that were doing 11-day hibernation mode sessions. Okay, 11-day stints of hibernation mode. Okay, and that was after I actually blew up the hibernation mode stuff before. Okay, but you got to dig for it. It's not just going to throw that up in your feed. You got to look, and you got to literally type in 11 days of DF. Okay, 12 days DF. You got to actually type that shit in. All right? But for morbid obese people, that's going to be the fastest way to drop weight. And if you got fat deposits, tumors, they're gone. Like they're going to be gone. Or, Yeah, Matt's going to be getting his videos on Rumble. He's stroking the dog on that. We're going to get him up, all right? Because he's got nothing but time now. Because we're not going to be doing anything for the next week and a half. Okay, he's going to be getting all his old stuff up there. Because we don't have no videos right now. Actually, we weren't making no more videos. Because all we were doing is we were doing the weigh-ins. And so he's got those videos. They're just short. And then he's got the backup videos that he had saved that we had up on his channel that they were started pulling down. So that's all he's going to just put those up. And then once he's got all that caught up, then he can make videos at will on that channel, on that Rumble channel. Matthew Westwood on Rumble. All right, Matthew Westwood on Rumble. Anybody that ever had a gallbladder problem or an attack, I told people it's so common because you've been eating because you're fat. It's why. It's your fat, all right? It's because you got fat. You know how many people got gallstones rolling around in their gallbladder? And then they start losing weight? It's because you're fat. Okay, if you feel like you're having an attack or something like this, you stop eating. How many times I got to tell people that? Do you end up getting your gallbladder removed? Because you didn't stop eating. All you had to do is stop eating and start fasting on apple cider vinegar and apple juice until those stones broke up and you crapped them out. Simple. Like, if you weren't willing to do that, then, and then you end up getting in a pinch where now I've had multiple women on their way to the hospital to get their gallbladder taken out, and they got a hold of me, and I told them to stop, relax, and all they did is started a fast, which is the old gallbladder cleanse, and then all they got to do is fast on apple cider vinegar, snake juice, salts, and if that gets too hard, they just do it on apple juice until the stones break up, man. Okay, so many people have come to me they're having gallbladder issues. People that weren't even doing weight loss stuff. Like, tons of people have gallbladders, they're not even losing weight. Like, it's an epidemic because you're fat ass. Eat too much fat, all right? All you needed to do is stop eating, first off, and then fast on apple cider vinegar, water, snake juice, salts, and apple juice. If it got too hard on the vinegar, the apple juice. And then you stay on that's all it is. Okay, people panic. They panic and they jump the gun and they go get the gallbladder taken out when they just had to not eat. And they refuse to stop eating. They refuse to stop eating and drink the apple cider vinegar. And like I say, if that gets too hard, pound in apple juice. They refuse to stop eating. Okay, what else do we got here? Okay, here's one. Carrie Blue said, how much did you lose again in 10 days, Cole? I can't remember. So when I did the 10-day snake juice fast, I lost 25 pounds and rebounded maybe 6. And then when I did the 15 days, 10 days snake juice, 5 days dry, I lost 35 pounds and rebounded like 5. Okay, that was hardcore. And I did a 7-day hibernation mode. Okay, I went into hibernation mode for 7 days straight one time, and I lost 25 pounds. Fruit Sugar Love says, that's right. Dr. Sergey Filanov from Siberia is the GOAT on hibernation mode, DF. KGB 000 said potatoes and watermelon once a day is extreme sugar consumption, 2 question marks, meaning he's saying it's not. It's just, it's nothing. Like, give me a break. The calories are rock bottom. Okay, the calories are rock. Like, it's clean, man. It's fruit, and like people are. Anyway, it's pointless to even argue it. Okay. Okay, this is a good question. What's the benefit of doing 12 days in a row? So going into hibernation mode for 12 days in a row versus 72 hours at a time. Here's the difference. Your body starts digging deep. It takes a couple days to really get dry. All right? To really get dry. And then you basically run out of the exogenous water you had on you. You'll start really chewing on body fat to make up the water. So if you're always jumping out of it, that's right when the real fast weight loss starts, is when you start digging deep into it. Okay, you start digging deep. It's got to be a hard, dry fast. You can't be lounging around a swimming pool. Okay, if you're going to have a shower, make it quick. Okay, brush your teeth and stuff like that's fine. Rinse your mouth out, but it's got to be hard. Okay, hibernation mode. Did I just say it? I just said it. It's got to be hard, meaning no water contact. Okay, no water contact. Brush your teeth. That's okay. Like, the only reason you don't want any water contact is if your body's pretty crazy. If you sit in water long enough, you'll soak it up. That's why there's people that have done 12 days in hibernation mode, but they were jumping in the ocean every day, and it made it a lot easier because they're taking up some fluid there and they're taking up some stuff. All we want to do is preload electrolytes and a pile of, like, basically with Matt yesterday, what we did. We'll be talking about this, but it was a bunch of orange juice with some sodium in that, and then a bunch of fruit, grapes. He did drink a jug of apple juice, and now we're in it. So that's why it's not going to get the yield that same result when you just keep breaking out of it. Okay, when you just keep breaking out of it. Okay, this is a good question. Happy Sky 7964 said, how many days in a row can you hibernate? Well, like I said, a skinny guy went 18 days in the Guinness Book of World Records, but in my opinion, honestly, this is what my goal is, to bring this mainstream, baby. I'm going to bring this mainstream. This is my new thing. It always was. Okay, I was always the DF guy on YouTube. Always. Filling off, old school DF guy from Russia that nobody even knew about. I was the guy that brought it back. Okay, I was the guy that really brought it back on YouTube back in the day. I started the whole DF, the whole trend. Okay, back in like 2017. I started the whole damn trend. And then it died off. So I'll tell you this. There's definitely people that have went over 20 days. Okay, especially if you're doing hard dry and soft dry is a little bit different. But hard dry, when you're morbidly obese, okay, I believe you could go indefinitely. Okay, would you have a little bit of would you have to really refeed properly to get your stomach biome prepped back up? Yeah, but I think you could go indefinitely. I think a morbid obese person could literally hibernate until they're skinny. That's how long. So how many pounds do you think you'd lose in 100 days doing that? Truthfully, I think you'd lose 300 pounds, maybe more, depending if you even had 300 pounds to drop. That's how much. That's how fast you get your life turned around. If you could just sit on your ass and just do nothing. I'm not even kidding, because you're not. It's like you have an internal fountain. You're like a camel. Okay, you have the fat. You're making the thing is the body fat breakdown producing the water keeps up perfectly as long as you're not doing a bunch of activity. You never get overly thirsty. You just relax, and you're just breathing out body fat and urinating out ketones, which is body fat. That's it. And your body's making sugar from the body fat, keeping your sugars there. Because that's the energy that's being used, is sugar. You're still running on sugar. Even when you're in any sort of deep fasted state, your body's running on sugar, not ketones. Ketones supplement. They supplement the energy, but your body's running on sugar. Okay, your body's breaking down that body fat and producing sugar. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're producing sugar when you're water fast. Like when you're doing a snake juice fast, when you're running a big calorie deficit where there's next to no food, and you're breaking down a pile of body fat, your body's producing sugar. This is a huge misconception in the low carb space. Like you think you're running on pure ketones or something. There's a little bit of ketones. Some of your organs and stuff will use some ketones, but you're running on sugar. When you're breaking body fat down in a deep state of hibernation mode or water fasting or any of that, you're running on sugar, all right? Sugar. Okay, go tell that to your zero carb carnivore MDs. People are dumb. Okay, your blood sugar you're always running on sugar. Always. Okay, the amount of ketones is it goes up, but it's not the priority fuel. It's never the main fuel source ever. Doesn't matter if you're in hibernation mode or water fasting or whatever. It's never the main fuel source. Your body's always running mainly on sugar. Spike Fast Racing says, can I hibernate for a year and get to 0 pounds? Try it out. Phoenix RSGN says, do I need to contact you? I get gout easy at Snake Diet. Been trying to figure it out. Okay, so first thing, okay, are you in a state of weight loss? A second thing, gout, you can, again, stop eating and get in some baking soda and water. Baking soda and water, stop eating. And that's how you'll get rid of a gout attack real quick. Moraine said, kickstart the metabolism after DF with carbs. And not just that. Like I say, you want foods that flow through fast. Like, that's the whole thing. Once you get slim, play with your diet. But I'm going to tell you right now, fastest way to lose weight, hibernation mode combined with refeeding on wet fruit and snake juice salts. And that's it. That's it. You beat that phobia of thinking you eat fat for your hormones and protein for your muscles. Once you beat that, you're on your way to Shred City. You're on your way to Skinny Town, baby. Then you play. Get down there. Okay? Tunnel vision. Weight loss. Weight loss. Weight loss. You're not a bodybuilder. Any long fast. Somebody said, back the race, I'm fasting 120 hours. What do I do after? If I'm reset the system, what do I do when I come off? Same thing. Always a wet fruit. When in doubt, watermelon, grapes. And then you get your snake juice salts in. You're going to be low on electrolytes and don't eat like a pig coming off a long one. Especially if you're skinny. Okay, that's where you could get refeeding syndrome. All right, eat slow. Get in some salt, but if you're fat, you wouldn't have to worry about that, okay? That's if you're getting, like, most people won't fast themselves skinny. Make sure you subscribe to Matt's YouTube channel, Matthew Westwood, all right? We're going to be doing another live on there right away. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's fun. Like, hibernation mode is so perfect because all the stupid excuses, how if you do this, do that, do this, you won't lose weight, blah, 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 stalls, blah, blah, blah. The scale just drops. The scale is just a dead drop. Okay, if you weigh at noon, you're going to be lighter at 2. If you weigh at 2 p.m., you're going to be lighter at 4 p.m. If you weigh at 4 p.m., you're going to be lighter at 6 p.m. You just get lighter. It's like you're a fat pig full of water and somebody poked you with a needle and you're just leaking out. It just drops. All the water that you normally would ingest, your body goes into overdrive to break down body fat faster to make the water. So now, is your body not just trying to make up a wicked calorie deficit because you're not eating anything. It's trying to make up all the water too because you're not drinking anything. Cattle Pal 1699 says, could I use V8 as snake juice alternative? Well, there's calories there. Okay, there's calories there. Okay, but is V8 a good thing to get in? Yeah, but there's calories there. If you're doing a snake juice fast, obviously the V8's not going to be the same, right? Hibernation mode is 0 calories, all right? It's 0 everything. 0. Fruit Sugar Love said hibernation mode and sugar diet equals perfect combination. This is my permanent lifestyle. You know what's funny? even when I would do my snake juice fast, I wouldn't even drink like a ton of water. It was funny, you're not even, because you shouldn't even be doing a bunch of crap even on a water fast. But even truthfully, water fasting, like just pounding in water, isn't even normal anyway. Most animals it would be like basically almost completely dry. But with the snake juice, you could do some stuff. Okay, you can go do stuff. Okay, you got some electrolytes. You're not gonna get like just blackout taxed. You know, you can still go, say, do some heat work and such. In hibernation mode, you can't do any of that stuff. You're just using the hibernation mode to cut the weight, and it's still that much faster because you're not taking in any water. Your body will just your metabolic rate to burn body fat goes through the roof to break down body fat to get the water through the roof. That's why you lose weight so fast. The Boone Platoon says, I lost 100 pounds water fasting. It destroys muscle. Took a year to get back to normal. Do PSFM, keep your muscle. Okay, that's a stupid comment. If you're 600 pounds, you want to lose weight fast. Fast. Okay, a protein-sparing modified fast, let's just call it what it is, pure protein, zero fat. That's for somebody trying to go from like 10% body fat to 7% body fat. Okay, there's no place in this conversation. Okay, the amount of muscle some fat person will lose is nothing. It's nothing, all right? And not to mention, any muscle this guy did lose, if he's just pulling hard, if he would have tried to lose it slower and try to not risk any muscle loss with his slow-ass weight loss, he would have been trying to lose weight for 5 years. You're still faster doing that. Even if you lost 5 pounds of muscle, who cares? You wouldn't lose that much. Okay, you lost 100 pounds water fasting. That's like, how long do you think it would have took you to lose that same 100 pounds if you're trying to eat in a little chicken shit deficit every day? Okay, you would have never got the weight off is what would have happened. You would have just went backwards because the motivation from the fast weight loss is why you got the 100 pounds off in the first fucking place. Okay, fat people need to lose weight now. Last thing you need to worry about is muscle. Okay, muscle is... Shut up about muscle. Okay, you need to get skinny. You need to lose weight. That's what's going to save your life. Okay, some of these people are 500-600 pounds. Now, if you only got 30 pounds to lose, do whatever you want. Okay, run a tighter deficit. That scale's not dropping. You're not in a calorie deficit. The scale ain't going down. You're not in a calorie deficit. Doesn't matter what you think your deficit is, what you think your calorie maintenance is. You're wrong. If your scale's not dropping, you're eating too much. Jasper is rocking. What's your opinion on Oprah Zempic shots? Oprah Zempic. Negative side effects. Okay, put in the work. Put in the work. You're not gonna get all the good health benefits from fasting like you would from fasting, autophagy, and everything else. Go look it up. There's already all the negative side effects will be coming out of the woodwork. Give it another year. Okay, all these things. It's always negative side effects. Like put in the work. Okay, you see Matt on Oprah Zempic? Nope. Let's see here. Hopefully they don't pull this down. I said one F word. Let's see here. Okay, somebody said something about salt. Okay, like it's the dose. Okay, so max 77677. Honest question, the human kidney can filter water with a maximum salinity of approximately 1.7% and 2% salt. This is the absolute maximum. Snake juice is super high. Well, that's the thing. You mix up your snake juice in a separate bottle. I always say drink fresh water on the side. Okay, it's not like I'm telling you to just put 1 pack of snake juice in 5 milliliters of water and drink it every time you have water. Okay, you just get in some salt. Okay, you're going to be right close to your daily RDAs. What are the RDAs right now? They changed? 2,300 milligrams sodium, 4,700 potassium. Okay, if you're close to that on the day, you're probably going to be pretty good on a fast, on a water fast, if you're not sweating like a pig. Okay, use common sense. Okay, you don't got to force anything in. That's why I was always watching when I just tell people, like, listen to your body. You'll feel when you're low on salt. You'll feel it. You'll feel weaker if you're lower on salt and you're trying to be active on a snake juice or water fast. Okay, you mix up your salt water. If you can't get the snake juice packets where you're at, basic snake juice recipe. Basic. Okay, there's magnesium and some other stuff in here, sodium bicarbonate. Okay, basic snake juice, some boron in here as well. But basic snake juice recipe, what matters, okay, for your heart and your muscles to fire, electrical system to work, basic snake juice recipe, 1 liter of water, 1 teaspoon of sodium chloride, 1 teaspoon of potassium chloride. Have that. There's your snake juice. Sip that. Drink fresh water on the side. Wise Old Moose said, what's the C word? And then he said the word. Yeah, that's what it is. The C word. You can't say it. You can't say anything. Okay, the reason they're taking our videos down and Matt's videos is because we're not even swearing or nothing on Matt's channel before. Okay, they're calling it, what was the word they were using? We're promoting self-farm. I'll say farm instead of the word. Maybe they won't even, they say that. Okay? That's why, because we're literally, they were busting Matt's channel because we're saying he lost this many pounds in this many days. He's losing. Literally, what they're doing is they're banning crazy fast weight loss. They're banning fast weight loss. That's what they're doing. They're banning fast weight loss. It's crazy, man. And you can't say I'm eating this many calories per day that when it's a very, very low number. They're banning that. They're banning calorie followed by the R word. Okay, oh man, it's soft ass nonsense. Hopefully this video stays up. The eyes aren't on me so hard right now because I have no monetization on my channel. But my channel will probably monetize pretty quick if I make a few lives and a few videos. Hit the threshold again, bang, it'll be monetized. Okay, we're just cutting through all the bullshit with this. Hibernation mode is the king of weight loss. Like, nothing's going to compare to that. Okay, hibernation mode, baby. Everything else is just a little softened up version of that, which is fine. But the hardcore, that's it. Hibernation mode is the hardcore, period. So at the zoo said, Cole, I don't understand this hibernation mode. DF, to be sustainable when you're working a 9 to 5, which a lot of us still do. We can't go and live a fat cap. So how do we go about it? Well, if you can't do it, you can't do it, right? That's the whole thing. Okay, now, depending how fat you are, would you be able to do a few days? I don't know what's your 9 to 5 look like. Okay, if you're just sitting on your ass and you got super fat in the first place, you're probably not doing much as it is. You probably could bust off a pretty long set of days in hibernation mode before you even have an issue. But if you can't do it, then you can't do it. Then you got to go to the next softest thing. So you got snake juice fasting. Okay, and then the next softest thing is going to be adding calories in. So OMAD, okay, meal a day, low calorie count, boiled potatoes, meal a day, salt, okay, meal a day fruit. Okay, that's what's going to keep the calories the lowest. Meal a day on wet fruit, meal a day boiled potatoes. That's what's going to keep the calories the lowest. Okay, count the calories. Start there. Count. You can count, right? You got to eat packaged goods to count the calories, and you don't even want to do, maybe you don't even want to do, drive the calories through the floor with the low-fat, high-volume foods, and that's almost not that's overly hardcore for you. Then just count the calories, whatever you want. Make sure you trust that you're in a deficit. 1,000 calories is a good start for a male. 1,000 on a meal a day. Okay, 1,000. Women even less, like 600. Get it down there. If you can't hold on to that, just creep it up. Use packaged goods so you can count the calories exact. If you want to lose weight, you're going to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, you're going to lose weight. Okay, anybody that is actually partaking in a long session, going to go into hibernation mode, they want to get weight off. Okay, they want to get weight off. They're not like, oh, that sounds dangerous. We need to drink water. They want to get the job done. Okay, so right there, if you're too chicken shit to do it, you just don't want, especially people that are morbidly obese, the ones that are serious and are desperate to get weight off, they're going to be pushing their level. They're going to be pushing the level of intensity on their weight loss journey via the calorie level and how hardcore they're getting. The hibernating like a grizzly bear for days on end is as hardcore as it gets. Okay, but if somebody even the meal a day on the boiled potatoes, that's pretty hardcore. You're gonna lose weight like crazy because barely anybody, most of you men are gonna be under 1,000 cal. All right. Let's see here. My channel is always about restriction. All right. There was never any flip-flopping. There was a million ways to restrict. And now that I'm getting around this verbiage, it's always going to be directed on this. Hibernation mode, most intense way to restrict. Fastest weight loss. And then you back it up from there. There's going to be like a pyramid of hardcore. Hibernation mode would be at the top, and then as you go down, it's going to get more relaxed. The very bottom, if you're still in a state of weight loss, is going to be where you're just kissing just under. You're going to be just in a small calorie deficit, losing weight slow. Top, you're going to be losing weight lightning fast. And it'll be based on how heavy you are and how desperate you are. What you pick. Maybe you start hardcore and then relax it. Low cal, the bear has emerged from his den. Must be talking about Matt. VLUG7006 says low calorie keto works really fast. Doesn't work any faster than the same calorie count on low fat. And the one thing that does happen with the low carb stuff, it screws up women get screwed up from it. Okay, men too, but women get screwed up quick. Especially if they're trying to yard the calories down and the carbs are low, it'll screw up their thyroid function. It's completely unnecessary. Calories are king, always. The overarching calorie count's king. And when you're doing DF, okay, hibernation mode, then now you're getting a situation where your body is trying to make up the energy that it needs for its general activity, plus it's making up the water with the burning even more body fat. And you know what's funny too? When bears hibernate, or when you start doing like DF, as far as people running their mouths about my metabolism and stalls, there ain't no stall. You just keep dropping. So where's the metabolic slowdown? You just keep dropping weight. Like you just keep dropping weight. Okay, that's what matters. That proves out everything. If your weight's dropping like a stone, then what are you worried about? Don't make assumptions. Don't just run your mouth about stupid talking points. When you blatantly see the scale just dropping like a stone, don't be like, oh, your metabolism's slowing down. Well, scale's dropping like a stone. Who cares? So we're here. Lose weight. Okay? So don't make your stupid assumptions. When you see the results are slapping you right in the face, which you'll see them, make sure you go on Matt's Instagram. Make sure you're watching our weight log for the next 10, 12 days. See the craziest weight loss you ever seen on YouTube, on the internet, period. Because you know what's funny? Most of the people that are going to any of these fasting camps, they're not even overweight. They're people with like some sort of a terminal illness that was caused by stressful lifestyle for the most part. They're not even, the fat people aren't showing up at these fasting camps. The fat people aren't showing up. Okay, the fat people aren't going to Russia to hit Filanov up back in the day to do a 12-day, do 12 days of hibernation mode. Okay, the fat people aren't going to Costa Rica to Lauren Lockman's water fasting camp. Okay, they're not. Okay, because those guys don't push it as weight loss. I use it, it's weight loss, baby. It's weight loss. It's a weight loss tactic. More people probably would go if they sold it like that, if they sold it as a weight loss tactic. That's right. And I'll tell you this, hibernation mode, people that are worried about their kidneys, you're still urinating, you fat pig. Okay, your kidneys are fine. You're hydrated. Where do you think the water's coming from? You're breaking down body fat. Okay, you'll have no issues until you're literally skin and bones, which you'll never get there. Okay, use your head. You have an internal fountain. You're a camel. You're fat. Okay, in fact, it'll heal kidney tissue when you do this. Okay, it'll heal kidney tissue. Yeah, Johnny Linsky's 19 said keto gurus with the quotations with super high A1C markers. Because here's why. One reason why they're not doing it. They're not doing a strict ketogenic diet. A strict keto diet, the way I used to push it, 4-to-1 keto. That's literally a therapeutical protocol for epileptics. All right. Okay, like it's not what that zero carb carnivore nonsense is not that. Okay, anything that's high protein is not anything. Okay, it's nothing. It's a dump. The protein is so low that I used to push. That's why it was a C-word protocol as well. Okay, when you're eating a pile of protein, okay, now if you're in a wicked, again, calories are the overarching most powerful thing. If you're in a crazy deficit and out of you're only eating like 500 cal, and a lot of it's protein, it's still only 500 cal. So how much protein is really there? Not much. So you're still going to break down tumors at that case because you're just in a crazy deficit. But if you're trying to like do that kind of thing, like break tumors down, and you're eating like this high protein, high calorie diet, have fun. That diet's dog shit. It's a stupid it's a dog shit diet. It's has no place for anything. Okay? Low protein, high fat is a protocol. I just don't push anymore because it's dangerous in the sense it screws up your electrolyte balance so bad. And it's so hard on women. And it's so much harder to get the calories low on it because there's no volume. All right. All the smart people stayed around the equator where there was like literally fruit starch. Okay? And then they'd have moderate protein from fish and such. Okay, or whatever. Maybe they were eating some bugs or whatever. Okay, all the dumbass humans are the ones that migrated up to the North Pole and sometime, God knows how many thousands of years ago, and they had to do a diet that was lower carbohydrate because they were forced to, and their lifespan's not as good. And their genetics aren't as good either. Okay, this is oh man. John Master said olive oil, salt, cayenne pepper, key lime, jumpstart the gallbladder. Man, okay, if you pound a pile of oil when you already have stones, it can make it worse. Okay, you need to break up the stones with malic acid. Okay, that's why the olive oil is at the end of the liver cleanse protocol. It's the last thing you do. But you don't even need to do that. And in the liver cleanse protocol, I made it more hardcore where I just told people to stop eating and just get in what's the main ingredient is the malic acid from the apple juice. And that's why I said to use the apple cider vinegar at the start because then you're even 0 cal. Okay, and then you'll just break up the stones and you'll shit them out. You don't even need to hit yourself with the oil, ever. The oil, like the oil from your dirty diet and getting fat. Getting fat means anybody that got fat was eating a high-fat diet. That's it. Anybody that got fat was eating a high-fat diet. Because calories are that high, because the fat's so high in calories. What else do we got here? Hit like on this video. Okay, I'm hoping this one, if they don't hit this one negative, it's good. I'll keep making this kind of content. Okay, you got to remember where I'm coming from. Okay, I want to see fat people live longer. Okay, these little Mickey Mouse arguments and shit when you only got 20 pounds on you, like, Okay, you're not part of the conversation. Okay, you're trying to lose a little slower, and your whole lifestyle is going to look so much different. Okay, you don't need to like, you can get hardcore in the beginning, but you can relax it. These fat people need to get weight off like yesterday and fast. Fast, baby, fast, 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 fast. The less weight they got on their body, the better chance they're going to have to live longer. The better chance they'll have of survival. Okay, they need to get like 100 or 200 pounds off now, like right now. Moss Burt Pig said, hey, coach, I'm training for a half marathon. What should I eat? Honest. Okay, those long distance, those cardio athletes, especially the long distance runners and stuff, they're eating a low-fat diet. A lot of them are damn near completely low-fat vegan. Okay, but low-fat diet, low protein, carbohydrates. Stay light. You want to be, as a runner, you want to be skinny and light. You want to be light. Okay, a lot of those Kenyan runners, they're just eating like literally super low protein, straight starch. Okay, go look what they're eating. Okay, if you're really serious, go to Kenya. Go find the fastest runner in the world that's running the Boston Marathon world record time, or whoever's running the Boston Marathon world record time, and shadow them for 24 hours and see what they eat. Or if they're too popular for you to get in touch with them, get somebody that's a little lower on the totem pole and shadow them and see exactly what they eat. And I'll guarantee you what they're eating is something that's crazy low fat, crazy high carbohydrate. Fruit Sugar Love said, DF, hibernation mode is what Jesus did in the desert. Exactly. John Linsky 19 said, you crash your metabolism on carnivore and lose hair. Just look up carnivore/keto forums. It's true. It's true. That's why they stall so hard, because they come off a diet where their metabolism is still decent, just because they're eating carbs still, and then they jump on that for too long and they stall out, and then they're no longer in a deficit because they stall so bad that literally the amount of calories that was getting them a weight loss results now like just it's breaking even, and then the diet now just sucks. Because when people are losing weight, they can do a lot, like things can be a lot more hardcore. Like imagine if you're in hibernation mode and weren't losing weight, how long do you think you would stick to it? Like, you wouldn't stick to it at all. But it's guaranteed weight loss. Okay, I know for a fact I did hardcore keto, and I lost hair. Guaranteed. Okay, it's a dumb diet, and it's expensive. It's expensive, baby. It's a ripoff. It's a scam. Poor man's diet. The poor peasants were the ripped guys that were doing all the work, and the fat-ass kings were the ones with all the freaking high-fat shit. For every 10,000 people that are slim eating in the poorer countries that are eating a low-fat diet, you'll have like one person that's lean on a high-fat diet. Let's see here. And no one's losing weight faster than somebody. I'll tell you right now, like, just go look at these fruitarian vegans. You want to see, like, that diet gets them, like, underweight. How many people on a keto diet do you see get underweight? Okay, when they're eating low carb, how many people do you see that can take it to where they're underweight easily? They can't. They can't, all right? They get some weight off, a lot of water dump at the start, and then they end up stalling out. They lose the easy weight, and they can never get slim. Calories are too high, man. Can't get the calories low enough. And then if you do try to bring the calories low by cutting the fat out of that low-carb diet, now all you got is lean protein left. You get plugged up. Okay? That's handier than a chapped asshole. Let's see here. Okay, make sure you subscribe to Matthew's channel. Okay, Matthew Westwood on YouTube. We're going to be doing a live right away. And until next time, stop eating, fatty.